Welcome back to Chopping It Up in the City. We're filming right here in the heart of downtown Saginaw, the SVRC Marketplace, where the lights are bright, the cocoa is hot, and the Christmas spirit is stronger than a Michigan snowstorm.
That's right. The flavors are popping, and today we're showing you how to make Christmas cookies that are so good and so easy they require zero chill time. Mix them, cut them, bake them, boom, holiday magic. So buckle up, buttercups, grab your cocoa, grab your aprons, and get ready to slay, because we're about to chop it up in the city Christmas style.
Alrighty, Alex, you ready to get the show on the road?
Yes, I am.
You know about my sugar cookies.
I do.
All right, and today we're going to share that recipe with the rest of the folks here so they can also make sugar cookies, because my dough requires no chill time. We're going to make the dough, we're going to roll it out, cut it, bake it, decorate it, and we're going to be done. We need 1 cup of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 1 egg, 2 teaspoons of almond or vanilla, 3 cups of flour, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We got the oven turned down to 350. We're gonna start with that butter. The butter should be softened at room temperature, so it should break up. If you don't have a KitchenAid, that's okay. You don't have to have a KitchenAid. You can use your good old hands, you can use a spoon, you can use a bowl. We just have the convenience of having the KitchenAid, so we use the KitchenAid. And if you have one of these, you're gonna wanna use the paddle, not the whisk. I like it because he's got the gloves, so he can get his hands dirty, and I don't have to get my hands dirty. 1 cup of sugar. All right. We're just gonna, what's called creaming this together. We couldn't do the butter separate. I like to just whip them up together. The sugar helps break up that butter a little bit too. And that's gonna start to get all nice and mixed up. From here, I like to add the egg and the vanilla and a little bit of almond. I do both. I do almond and vanilla. That seems to be the magic secret for me. And in this case, we got the Mexican vanilla.
I've never seen that. I was curious when I seen clear vanilla.
Smell it, it's delicious.
That smells delicious.
Okay.
Smell-o-vision needs to be a thing.
For our folks here, we're gonna measure. Normally I don't. I always usually say measure with your heart, so if a little extra goes in, I'm not gonna be all upset about it.
I've never seen her use a measuring utensil for vanilla, ever.
No. And then a little tiny dab. This is almond. You can use almond extract. This is called almond emulsion, but almond extract's just the same. Let's get that egg in there. See, it's starting to look really creamy. And now it's going to start to look even creamier from here. It's going to look a little globby, and then it's going to turn really nice and creamy from here. I will say that no matter what you have, whatever mixture you have, always scrape down the sides. So I stop it right about here. And I'm just going to have you scrape down all the sides. Get all the gooey stuff on the side of that bowl, because that's what really just kind of never gets mixed in until we add the flour. I just kind of like to get it in there now. So scrape your bowl down, get all the ingredients incorporated. Beautiful. Back to mixing. Now for the drying. Now we've got all of our wet ingredients in here, right? So we started with our wet ingredients, and now we can add our dry ingredients, which is really only 2 ingredients from here. And that's gonna be the 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and then we're gonna add 3 cups of flour. And before we add that flour, let's turn this speed down really low, because if it's high and you put that flour in there,
it'll make a mess like I do.
It's gonna look like Christmas in here.
Good to add this?
Go for it. 1 cup at a time. And now in that last cup that you're gonna add, you're gonna think there's no way that it needs it. Hold on, let it get mixed in a little bit before you add that last cup. Let the dough get a little bit more incorporated. Now go ahead and add that last cup. And here's where you're gonna trust the process, because it's gonna kind of look like it doesn't need it. Trust the process here. This is where it doesn't look like it's gonna come together, and it will. We're gonna know it's gonna come together because it's gonna start to pull away from the walls, and it's gonna start to form one giant dough ball. You good? It's cookie time, bro. It's starting to pull away from the wall. As you can see, like the side of the wall of the bowl is clean. See that?
Oh yeah.
That's how you know it's done. Like I said, trust the process. That's the way we roll our dough out, is we put it between these two things, between this cookie sheet. I'm gonna put all this dough right here.
Okay.
Use your hands, kind of clump that together. Squish it all together into one big bowl. One big ball. I promise it'll come all one together. Trust the process. At this point, it's edible, in my opinion. Some people say no because of the raw egg. I say yes because I'm still alive. Now we're gonna squish it between the two pieces. Yep, perfect. And just the warmth of your hands will start to melt that butter. Get a little thin. Alex, what happens when we run out of something or when we don't bring something from home to the SVRC marketplace during show day?
We figure out how to make it work.
That's right. So I forgot a rolling pin today. What would you use in lieu of a rolling pin if you didn't have a rolling pin? I'll help you.
Pan?
I'll help. Yeah, well, we're going to use a jar in this instance. You can even use a bottle. Just anything that's got a little weight. Just be careful with the glass because you don't want to crush it. So I try to get it as thin as I possibly can before I even try to roll it out, just because there's so much dough. We can start with a little edge here. Now I like my cookies a little on the thicker side. It's about an eighth of it. Thick, a little thick. And I like it to about an eighth of an inch. That way I get that nice like cakey, soft cookie dough. Nice and thin. See how thin that is?
Yeah.
You want to roll out some more?
Sure.
When we improvise here, we're showing people that too. Like, some people just don't have rolling pins. If you were looking to make this last minute and I forgot to tell you to buy a rolling pin, then you're gonna have to make do.
Yeah.
And we still want you to have cookies. And that's just the reality of it, right? Like, I remember living in my first apartment, I was like, I don't have a rolling pin. Like, not a chance.
I still don't have a rolling pin.
We gotta get it together. I brought a plethora of cookie cutters. So, pick your poison. Want to be the star of the show?
Yep. Typical Alex fashion.
We've got two snowmans, and you've got little mittens here you can do.
I like this little guy too. That reminds me of myself.
That's actually upside down.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a reindeer. Yeah.
What? That looked like a little chunky little gingerbread man or something. Does that not? That's crazy.
That's the way
You guys tell me, look, reindeer, chunky little gingerbread man. Look, reindeer, or chunky little gingerbread man.
Reindeer. Reindeer wins.
That's crazy.
Reindeer wins. I buy these pre-cut parchment papers because, you know, when you're making
Smarter, not harder.
when you're making 125 of these bad boys, you really just kind of want to cut the stress. So I use the pre-cut ones. Cost me a couple extra bucks, but it's way worth it than trying to constantly cut the roll.
Is there a trick?
Nope.
Come right out?
Come right out. Looks great. Keep going. However many you want. I like these.
I want to do different.
I like the Christmas lights because then I can make one each different color. Now I've got like these colorful
Yeah, I like that too.
cookies. Those look great. Good job. What I do is I peel the outside and that reveals your cookies. Aww.
Smells like Play-Doh a little bit.
But like delicious Play-Doh.
But Play-Doh I can eat.
I think we got enough on there. We'll give you this one if you want. All right. In the oven at 350. So for the icing, I kind of cheat, per se. Rather than making it the traditional way, I use the egg white powder or the meringue powder, which is basically egg white powder. And it can be a little pricey. You can get it at Walmart. Again, I like to order mine from Amazon. sorry. And I use that instead. The traditional way, which I will give you the recipe for that through our website. If you go on to choppitupsaginaw.com, we will give you the recipe there if you sign up for our exclusive emails, and then you can have both recipes. So we're going to give you today's recipe, and then we will give you the alternative recipe. The alternative recipe calls for actual eggs, actual egg whites. And this way we're just kind of skipping the harder process. For this one, I do need that whisk attachment. So I need 2/3 cup of water, and I'm gonna need 4 tablespoons of that egg white powder. We're gonna whisk this first until it gets nice and frothy, and then we're gonna go ahead and add the powdered sugar. See how it's starting to get frothy right away? I like to make sure it gets nice and frothy, gets a little, see how it's gotten a little bigger inside, a little volume. Nice and frothy. Now we can go ahead and add our powdered sugar. Again, make sure you either turn your machine on low or turn it off before you add the powdered sugar. I'm gonna turn that on low, ready?
I hope.
Okay, we like to add a little bit at a time. Alex just kind of dumped it in, we're good though.
I break the rules all the time.
But I can't turn it up until this actually gets mixed in now. Ooh. Yeah, let's scrape the sides of that, and then we're gonna turn the speed up on that. Got a little bit of lumps in there. We're gonna wait till those lumps come out. It's gonna get nice and smooth. Have you scrape down those edges one more time? Beautiful. Now we're gonna add our flavoring. You don't have to use vanilla. You don't have to use almond. If you want strawberry, if you want lemon, this is the spot where you're gonna add your flavoring. So for me, I like to add vanilla. The reason I go for vanilla because it's just generic. Put a capful in there. That's enough for that entire batch. I don't always add the almond. Sometimes it depends on my mood. I will add the almond. We're gonna go ahead and mix that right back in. Now it's smelling. So you smell that?
Delicious.
And we can whip this up a little. I don't want to whip it up on too high because we don't want a lot of air in the royal icing. This is royal icing, and a lot of people are afraid of royal icing because, one, it's not a really common icing, and you see the intricate details that you can use with it, but trust me, you do not have to be an artist to use royal icing. It's just really a nice flavor, and it's a nice contrast to that cookie. It's a nice complement to that cookie. All right, so I think that's nice and mixed in. What do you think? That's good.
See, growing up, my favorite part of this would have been the bowl and the whisk.
Will you settle for a spoon?
I will. That's the way to my heart. That's delicious.
Right? The key for royal icing is that you have to keep it in an airtight container. You have to keep it covered from all air. If you don't keep it covered, what's gonna happen is it's gonna start to harden just like it does on those cookies, and you're gonna get a nice crust on your icing. So you don't wanna have it crust over, because then you won't be able to decorate with it or do anything with it. So go ahead and take that out of that bowl for me, Alex, right away, because time is of the essence on that. And we're gonna have you put it right in that airtight container. It's also why I'm rinsing in my tools right away, because it will harden on your tools, and then it makes it harder to clean your tools later. Oh yeah, they're beautiful. Look at that. I have another towel. This is why I like the sheets. Boom. Now they're already cooling.
Easy, breezy.
This is the fun part. I recommend when you use royal icing, no matter what color, you're gonna always use white, right? And you're gonna think that you can just use it white out of here, and you can, but I recommend getting a white food coloring for your white icing. It helps with color bleed, it helps the color stand out a little bit more bolder. It just looks a lot cleaner and a lot nicer when you use an actual white food coloring to your icing. So just keep that in mind as a little side note there. You're gonna wanna keep a spray bottle on hand while we mix this icing, so I'm gonna give that one to you. You're gonna want a cup when you're ready. We're gonna get this one ready and nice and prepped. This is for when your icing is done. We're only gonna mix one color, but I brought a lot of other colors for us to use. And then so you wanna plan out which ones you're gonna ice, and then if you're gonna use any sprinkles, because you're gonna wanna add your sprinkles while the icing is still wet.
Okay.
If you're gonna use two colors, are you gonna layer them on top of each other? Are they gonna mix? If we do a wet, what's called a wet on wet style, sounds a little funky, don't it?
It does.
We do a wet on wet style. This is where the icing is added while it's still wet, and then we zigzagged it up, and then it gave it that really cool design. So we added it while it was still wet, and then zigzagged it. And remember, it has to stay covered at all times. So you're gonna take a little bit out and put it into your bowl. You don't need a lot, maybe even less than a half a cup. You'd be surprised how far this goes. So go ahead and use your spatula, and we're gonna scoop some out each. You got your color?
Yep.
I got my color. Blue versus purple. We only need a couple of squirts. See what that looks like. See how that color blends in. The color deepens as you let it sit. And just when you think you've got it mixed, mix it a little bit more. And we're not done mixing. This is just the start. All right, nice and thick icing. That's where we're gonna introduce the water bottle. The water bottle is gonna thin out this icing so that it's nice and pliable, nice and fluid, and then we can apply it to our cookie. This is the tricky part about royal icing that most people do not like, and that's because you can have different consistencies. You can have thick consistency, what's called a flood consistency, where it's really loose, really runny. It doesn't take a lot of water. 1 squirt to 2 squirts at a time is all you really should need when you're working with royal icing. 1 little squirt too much, and it gets too liquidy, and now you've got to add more from your original batch into your small batch just to get the consistency back in. See how it's starting to, yeah, see, you're getting those little ribbons now? We're gonna take a ribbon, fold it back over the top, and count 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we've got a flood consistency. It went folded right back into that bottom batch within less than 10 seconds. This is called a flood consistency. Okay. And why that's important is because when we apply this to our cookie, for the most part, if we have a flood consistency, it's gonna self-level. We don't have to worry about trying to shake it out. If it's too thick, you're gonna have to really shake it out. Okay. So yours is ready. Go ahead and get that right there in the bottom of that. Now, depending on your design, some designs will require a thicker consistency. Again, for today's episode, we're gonna use a universal flood consistency. That way we can just get all the icing done. When you get into more detailed things, more detailed designs, you're gonna want a little bit of a thicker consistency. That way it doesn't just run all over the cookie. And I just squish that all the way down. This is not open at the bottom yet, so you're good. And then before I hold it here, I take this and I just push it up the bottom. What that does is kind of help eliminate some of the air bubbles that's in there. Push that down. Start twisting that top. And then I just loop it around and knot it up on its own self. Now I'm ready. So we're getting ready to cut our bag. We're gonna find our seam and make sure that our seam is facing up. We don't want our seam facing to the side, because if we cut the seam with the seam on the side, we're gonna get a flat bead. We will not get a nice rounded bead. So we make sure that our seam is turned up. And then we cut a little tiny tip at the end here. Not too big, not too small. I would always start smaller before I go bigger. Now test. Nice rounded line. We do have other colors to play with. When you get your icing in your kits, from your cookie kits for our fundraiser, sometimes you're gonna see it like this, where the color looks a little separated. That's normal. When you make your icing ahead of time, which you should make your icing ahead of time, It's going to do this. That's natural and normal. Just take the tip, squish it back into itself, and get it mixed up. And pull that back out. And there you go. Now it's all nice and mixed. So plan out a little bit more. Now we've got a lot of colors out here. This is where it's going to require a little planning. Just like when you're painting a house, Alex, you don't just take every bucket of color of paint and put it underneath walls.
Well, you're not supposed to.
We've seen your handiwork.
Okay, so if you're gonna go the artistic route, which is usually the route I take, I would plan this out, right? So every candy cane is usually 2 colors minimum, red and white. So I'm gonna make sure that I color those in 2 separate colors. Now that's the artistic approach, but we do have Alex here. So we have to come up with some alternatives so that he can still make pretty cookies.
Coloring in the lines is hard.
Now, artistic approach is I outline the color that I want to do first. So white is the one I want to do. And I'm going to go just on the edge. Same thing up top. Lift your bag up a little bit higher off your cookie. Let it flow. Let it flow. Alrighty, Alex. That's one way we can do artistic expression. For sure. So we can just go ahead and fill these in right inside the outline. And notice that it's starting to already even out. See that? It's starting to self-level.
Oh, look at you. Good job, mijo. Okay, so you're going to take one of these. It's called a scribe. And we're going to want to make sure we get this all scribbled in and get that all pushed up towards your line at your edges here. See that?
Yeah.
It starts to fill in. Did you want to add a second color for their trunk?
Yes.
I'm going to add my blue scarf. I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to let that set before I finish the other end, because if I don't, they're going to just run together. And when the way I'm doing this is that's how it creates the separation of color here. So creating these separate boxes or separate areas, outlining creates those separate, how do you want to say, patterns. So that's one pattern here, that's another like we have here, and just like that, there's one and there's another. So we want this to crust over, then I can go ahead and add my other piece, and then I'll have that separation. So in the meantime, while you're waiting for all your other cookies to dry, if you don't want to go this route and you basically covered yours, you got a little bit of, it's a little sloppy, but I mean, it's great, it's covered, so good job. Let's make it a little easier, shall we?
I'm with easier.
Okay. Let's move this up a little bit. Now, here's where you could pick any cookie you want, but it's going to be one color, okay?
Okay.
And you could still do the wet on wet effect if you wanted to. So you're going to pick a cookie and you pick up your base color. Your base color that's going to go all over the cookie.
We'll go with purple.
So bags are only when you want to do fine detail artwork.
I see where you're going with this.
Mm-hmm. You ready?
Yeah.
Dip it in. Get it nice and covered. Make sure all your edges are in there. Pull it up. You're not going to have to move it around too much because it's already starting to self-level. I just want this toward the edge more. So I'm using my scribe tool to push that icing to the edge of the cookie.
Now that was easy.
And so much faster, right? I see some holes here. Get these holes out.
Perfect.
Move around with your finger a little bit, or that scribe, whatever one you want. Whatever's easier. Use the tools at your disposal. Fingers are perfectly fine. You got gloves on. This is supposed to be the easier one. It's coming along just fine. This is when you want to add sprinkles. If you wait till it's dry, the sprinkles will not stick. That's got a little crust on it now. Now I can go back in with my second color. And the scribe tool helps me get right into the corner. Now, because that line is already crusted over, I can already go back in here and fill this in. There we go. So now you've got the different compartments. And again, that's because we let that crust over a little bit before we added another layer. Again, it's going to blob all together. It's going to self-level. It's going to turn into one big sheet. So when you're using 2 different colors or multiple colors, think about planning, think about the layering. For this snowman, just the body first. And you're going to want to hold your icing up above your cookie. Let it flow out first here, then let it go out. And anywhere you go, it goes. So that's going to crust over first. I have to let that crust before I can add the head. And then I can actually do the black, because the black is separate way up here. And because I want that definition with the same definition with the hat, this also has to crust over, and then I can do the top of the hat as well. So you see the sections in planning that takes when you go into 2 different colors or multiple colors. So just think about how artistic you really want to get with your cookies.
Awesome. They look incredible.
Well, I mean, I think, I don't want to brag or anything, but mine might look a little bit more artistic and
Hey,
might need a little work.
no matter where you're at on the artistic scale.
They're still delicious. They're still edible. Now, I know you're going to want to eat these before this icing gets crusted over.
How do you know that?
How do I know that's what you want to do? I'm watching you over here. I'm literally, I can feel it. It's like a vibe. It's like a cookie vibe.
Drea cookies.
But it does change the flavor ever so slightly. So wait till it crusts over, because you're not going to be happy when you eat that soft. Go ahead and try it if you want.
That
Soft.
tastes mighty fine to me.
I'll try that one.
Don't mind if I do. Keep them coming, bartender.
You want to try this one too? Maybe the colors taste different. Does the blue taste different from the green? I'll let you be.